Okay, guys, this is Around the Wire podcast. We talk about some sports topics going on throughout the world, and I guess we'll start right now with introductions. I'm John, from South Dakota, and we're just here, a couple buddies talking about sports.
I'm Ethan from Michigan, and I'm most knowledgeable on basketball matters, but I dabble in football.
I'm Mason. I'm from California, and I'm pretty good at knowing the NFL and NBA. Also
All right,
college
let's have
basketball. College.
good topic by topic. It'll take about 2 minutes per topic, depending on what it is. So we'll try to keep ourselves to a tight schedule. But for the first minute, we all know that the NBA playoffs and the NBA season has been canceled. If the season were to resume today, who do you guys have winning the championship and why?
Um, I would say my first pick is the Lakers. That's just because how dominant their team is. LeBron and AD, force that no one can stop in this league. But if I were to give any other team, I would say I would actually pick the Nuggets to make it and win.
Interesting call. See, I see you there with the Lakers, but I feel like that the level of competition they play and the way they play can easily be stopped by the other Los Angeles team, the Clippers. I just think that the defensive versatility is much more advanced and much more able to stop the LeBron and AD combo, especially when you combine the guard play of Patrick Beverly and Lou Williams. And on the Eastern Conference, I think Milwaukee has a fair shot as well, just because of the way they play and Giannis just being the freak that he is. But right now, I have to say the Clippers. I love the Clippers, the way they play, respect the way they do things. I got to go Los Angeles.
I gotta go with Mason with the Lakers, man. You know, the dominance of Anthony Davis and LeBron, and the depth of their team and their bench and the defense. And I noticed how you said their defense was not on the same level as the Clippers, but if I'm not mistaken, didn't the Lakers best the Clippers this season?
See, I would argue that, but in the playoffs, it's a whole different animal. You guys know that, In the playoffs, usually it's when Kawhi plays his best. Last year, you saw that against Golden State, in full swing. He dominated that series, and I think that when you have playoff Kawhi and playoff P, it's a different story.
But I would also
And you
say
cannot deny playoff LeBron.
you can't stop the playoff LeBron.
And we
Okay.
all know
Listen,
playoff LeBron is a different
listen.
monster.
All I'm saying is that I would not be surprised if the Lakers won the championship. I'm just saying that their chances are heavily diminished by having to go through the Clippers. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers won, but I just don't think they can get past the Clippers in a 7-game series. I just think they're a better team.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Who is the MVP and why? I think we can all. I think we all have some different topics on this. I think it's Giannis by a fair amount, just because of the way that he's led the team. And LeBron, I don't think it's even close. I think the media tries to portray LeBron in a much better light, but I think it's Giannis by a fair margin.
I actually think it's a LeBron by like a lot. I would say LeBron's actually playing at one of his best seasons he's ever played at. Though he's like 34, he's playing an insane, or he played an insane season this season. So yeah,
I gotta agree with Mason. LeBron is doing everything Giannis is doing right now at a ridiculous age, and the numbers he's putting up and just what he's doing in the league is unmatched.
I think Giannis is doing a lot more with a lot less. LeBron's second star is a top 5 player in basketball. Giannis' second star is Chris Middleton, someone who is an all-star but is nowhere near the level of Anthony Davis. They're both really good, but Anthony Davis is much, much, much better than Chris Middleton. I don't think any of us would deny that. And I think that takes a lot of pressure off of LeBron as opposed to where Giannis has to do everything. And Giannis is still winning, is on pace to win 68 games this year.
Well,
I mean,
now
he's
that you
also
bring
playing.
that up,
We
you
all
go
know
ahead,
the
Mason.
East isn't a great conference. He's playing in a conference that it's pretty easy to make the NBA Finals. So winning the amount of games, it's tough, but it's also not as tough as if the Lakers would win that many games.
And also, the record is not. I feel like the record is not the most important thing in deciding the MVP. And thinking of like being the most valuable to their team. I mean, without LeBron, the Lakers would not have this much success.
You
You
take
can argue
Giannis off that
that
team, that's a lottery team. You take Giannis off the team, that's a lottery team. That's
you
a
can
20-win
argue
team.
you can argue that Anthony Davis is he is one of the best offensive players in the league, averaging 26. But LeBron he does everything else also.
All right,
You know,
we
he
got to
has
move on. we got to move on to the next topic here. We just completely disagree on the topic, so we'll shift sports to the NFL. The NFL draft is coming up. Amid the coronavirus, even it's probably still going to happen, regardless of what the commissioner wants to do. So, with the number one pick, the Bengals own it. A lot of talk has been on them trading that number one pick, but in my opinion, that is the most foolish thing they can do when they clearly are on the market for a quarterback. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I'm gonna be honest. I say trade that pick. I'm saying get not a superstar, but close to a superstar, talent player. Trade back to the 5th pick and go for Tua.
So you want the Dolphins to trade for the first pick?
Yeah, I'm thinking that's something like that because I think the Bengals, their best bet is to trade back and get a star because they could get some defensive player that they're in need for, and Tua.
I mean, you look at that though. Joe Burrow was a monster, and I think the difference between Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa is just so big that they can't compete in that way, especially considering the fact that if you trade back for the number one pick, who are they going to get? Because the Dolphins don't have that elite level talent that you're talking about.
I mean, they could trade for another pick the next year because like the Dolphins they're not gonna be good for the next 4 years. Say if they get Joe Burrow's not gonna be developed into a superstar, and if he does, then it's not gonna be for the next 3 years. So, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Ethan, you got a thought on that?
I'm going to go against everybody else here. I say the Bengals keep the pick. They pass on Joe Burrow, and they take Chase Young off the edge.
Wow.
Okay. So how would that affect? So how
What
would
was
that affect the? How would that affect the Redskins though? Because the Redskins aren't going to draft a quarterback. They still invest in Haskins. So how are they gonna play on that if their number one is off the board?
They just have to go with the receiver.
I mean, if they're looking for an edge rusher, I mean, then that's Chase Young's their guy. But if they got some other positions they got to fill. They're not doing great in any category. So
I don't think they should waste their. I don't think Joe Burrow's going to live up to the hype. I don't think he has that much potential.
I don't think so either. I don't think he's that talent.
So the talent that Joe Burrow, you think that is much less than the talent that is worth with the number one pick?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, that is interesting. That is interesting to say the least. But he didn't throw 50 touchdowns in the national championship for nothing, And Tua has those injury problems. I don't think I can. If I were GM of the Bengals, I would not trust drafting Tua Tagovailoa that high in the draft, especially if they drafted number one.
I think Tua's got it all. I think the injuries are a thing, but I think Tua's got a great body. He's got a good quarterback body and he's a great quarterback.
That's fair. Okay. Let's move on to the next topic here. So, we're talking about teams who are in the garbage, in the shitter, so to say. So now let's go back to the teams who are in a bit more competition. Who wins each division in the NFL? And this will be a bit of a longer segment here, about 3 to 4 minutes. So, we'll start in the AFC. Who wins the AFC North?
I got the Ravens coming out again. They have Lamar Jackson, the MVP. They have the beastly backfield out wide. I think there is some hope of Antonio Brown coming to Baltimore.
Did you see that Instagram post? Yeah.
Marquise Brown is developing. The defense is there. I just think it's the Ravens.
I'm actually it's gonna be crazy. I'm going the Browns. I really think Browns have the talent. Receiver core is insane. They got 2 great running backs. He'll improve. I just think they just need Freddie Kitchens, and they just needed another year to get into the rhythm of what they can be because they got great talent. Myles Garrett, if he comes back, then that's a great team right there. So Browns.
I think it's the Ravens, but by a very, very small margin. Because I think they're going to figure out Lamar Jackson this year a lot more than they were last year, just because they have a whole year to plan around him and his electrifying style of play. I think the Ravens win 11, 10 games this year and win the division, but I think Pittsburgh is actually very close behind them. AFC East. Tom Brady's gone. I got the Bills. I think that's a pretty easy choice for me anyway. Playoff team last year. Dolphins not ready yet. Sure as hell no, the Jets aren't going to do anything. I got Buffalo.
I agree.
I also got Buffalo. I'm a huge fan of Josh Allen, so I got Buffalo.
I mean, the quarterback situation in New England is a mess, as we all know right now. Let's drift to the AFC West. I still have the reigning Super Bowl MVP and champions, Kansas City Chiefs, coming out of that division.
Leon, you want to go with me?
I'll go. I agree. I have the Chiefs, the receiving core, the greatest quarterback in football, an evolving running back, I guess you can say. I wouldn't say a superstar. Defense is solid, so going with the Chiefs again.
If you knew me, you'd think I would pick the Chargers. But actually, if I'm going to be honest, I say the Chargers give them one more year because I think in 2 years they'll come back and be the winners of the AFC West. But this year or in 2020, I'm going to give it to the Chiefs. But Chargers will make the playoffs, but won't be the division leader.
Good choice. Probably the most interesting division in football, the AFC South. DeAndre Hopkins gone and the Texans. Tannehill's back for the Titans. This is a really interesting division, guys. What do you guys have coming out of this division?
Oh, Titans. Titans
yes.
are there. That's easy for me.
I agree. I have the Titans.
Okay, that's fair. Just because the dominance of Derrick Henry.
Yeah. I think AJ
That's
Brown's a
fair.
great receiver also, so yeah.
I agree. I question their ability to win without Derrick Henry because at some point they're gonna have to pass the ball, and I didn't see enough of Tannehill last year to convince me that he can be the guy, and I don't think he was worth that contract he was given. I can't bet against Deshaun Watson, even though he lost that major weapon. I still think that Bill O'Brien is one of the worst coaches in football, no doubt, but that electrifying quarterback play, Deshaun Watson's always gonna give you a chance.
I know you didn't see Tannehill in the playoffs play great, or like they didn't throw the ball all the time, but actually he had a couple of 300-yard games, passing games during the season, later in the season to clinch them playoff spot. So I would say
That's true, but you see him against the Chiefs, a subpar run defense at best, and Henry gets stuffed. They didn't have an answer because Tannehill couldn't do anything. So in the playoffs, do you think he can continue that success he had in the regular season?
I think he wasn't ready for the playoffs. I think next year he'll be ready.
Excellent point. Let's shift to the NFC now. NFC West. This is a good division, man. This is a really tough division. I still think that while the Cardinals got better, I still got to go with the Niners. I don't really want to say it because I think the Seahawks can do it as well, but I got the Niners coming out of that division just because of that defense.
I got the Niners.
I got the Niners, but I don't really know. They lost Emmanuel Sanders. They lost a couple key defensive assets. So I don't really know. I might go Seahawks for this one.
Brave choice. Fucking Russell Wilson, of course, being one of those fucking monsters that he always is. Every time you see that guy play, he has a shot. NFC South. Saints signed Drew Brees back again. I think that's the reason they win that division once more, even though there are a lot of rising players. I think the Buccaneers could because of Tom Brady. I think the Buccaneers make the playoffs, but I don't think they win the division.
I think the Bucs win. I think the Bucs win the division. I think Saints fall to the wild card. But yeah, Bucs win 11, 12 games and win the division.
Wow.
I'm going with Bucs also.
Interesting. Just did Tom Brady make that big of a difference to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bucs actually they had some last year, past 3 years. They've actually had some parts in their they won the last 4 games this season or something. They have potential to win lots of games without Tom Brady, but adding Tom Brady is a huge step for them.
That's true. Probably the worst division in football, the NFC East. It's close. I think the Eagles win it with a 9-7, 10-6 record. I think they're one of the most overrated teams in football every single year, but I got to go with Philadelphia. I just don't think Dallas. They lost their center. They had to re-sign Amari Cooper to that big contract. Dak is not very happy with his franchise tag. Byron Jones left. I got to go with Philadelphia still.
I disagree, man. I don't really have much faith in the Eagles. I'm going with America's team, Cowboys.
Our boy EDP is going to be happy with that, bro.
I'm going with the Cowboys by far. I mean, that's going to be a Dak. I mean, Dak's a great quarterback, rising MVP in the
Oh
NFL.
God.
Just see in a few minutes. You'll see my predictions. But I would say Dak. I mean, they're about to get Des Bryant maybe. So Des Bryant, Amari Cooper. That's a great receiving core.
Really quick, we got to move on. NFC North, really quickly. Sorry to cut you off. We got to move on though. NFC North, I got the Vikings. Unbiased opinion, totally. But you got the better team in the division.
I want the Vikings too.
I mean, I would say the Bears, but I mean, Trubisky, God. But I'm actually going with Packers. I'm going Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, Packers.
Yeah, okay, the fair point. All right, we went a little long there, but we got to go to the shifting totally different topics here. Then we'll go back to the NFL. NCAA championship obviously got canceled. Who would have won that tournament had the tournament had continued?
On your shirt, John.
Yes, sir.
On
Yes,
your shirt.
I got to
I
agree with
got. I
that.
have two picks. Okay. I would say Duke or Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga's a
Okay.
great team. People underestimate them because they're playing in the West Coast Conference, but they always show up. They make it to the Final Four a lot. They go far in the tournament. They're actually a good team.
I completely disagree with both of you. Um, I have Kansas winning it all. You know, Kansas, their defense is amazing. Can stop almost any offense in the country. Their offense it's there. You know, they just had all the pieces they needed.
I mean, I would, but Kansas always walks the chalk at the number 1 or 2 seed, and they always fall flat. I can never trust them in the tournament. Never could, never will.
Oh, and
I
that's coming
personally
from
think that.
it's coming from a Duke fan. Okay.
Hey, man, listen. Duke. This is the thing with Duke this year. If I would not have been surprised if they lost in the first weekend, and I wouldn't have been surprised if they won the tournament. They had some crazy, crazy losses this year and some crazy, crazy wins this year. I think a lot of those teams in college basketball have that same problem, and I think that's why this tournament could have been the best in history. Sadly, we'll never know, but that's just how life goes. And I guess now we go back to the NFL to the award predictions. Way too early for this because the season hasn't even started, but we have nothing else to talk about considering sports are over for the foreseeable future. And NFL MVP for next year, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you have?
You want to go look at them?
Yeah, I'll go. Last year his performance was amazing. He shredded defenses. He gave defensive coordinators nightmares. I'm going with Christian McCaffrey.
I like
A
that.
running back.
I do like that pick, but I'm really going. I got Dak. Okay, listen, Dak is a great quarterback. This is his year because he's got to prove himself. Last year was a thing he got to prove himself, but he didn't have a coach. Mike McCarthy, great offensive coach. Aaron Rodgers was with them. Great offense then. I think Dak's gonna have a MVP type year, or Saquon. Saquon's great.
I can agree with that. I think that both of those are good picks, but usually a quarterback always wins it. And if they don't win it, it has to be because a running back had an incredible season. Adrian Peterson, 2012, for example. Um, Personally, for this MVP pick, man, I have to go with a bit of a pick that may surprise. I got to go Russell Wilson. He's never received an MVP vote in his career, and that's surprising considering how much he carries that team. I think if he wins 11, 12 games this year, he could easily be in that competition and win the tournament. Excuse me, win the MVP.
Okay.
Dak Prescott just doesn't have that in his repertoire. I just don't think he's talented enough.
So next we can go offensive player of the year and defensive player of the year. For me, offense, had an amazing season last year, broke all kinds of records. Going with Ken guard Mike. And
Okay.
my defensive player of the year, this guy, he made a lot of noise last year. One of the, I think, in my opinion, the best safety in the NFL, Jamal Adams.
Okay. You can go, John.
Offensive player of the year, C-Mac won this award this year. I think could easily do it again. But if I don't have him winning the MVP, I could see him taking this award again, especially if he's the entire offense in Carolina. I would either go him or I would go Ezekiel Elliott just because he's gonna have to carry that god awful quarterback that's Dak Prescott.
Oh Lord.
So him or Zeke, I would say. The defensive player of the year, I would say I think that if I have to go defense player of the year, it differs every year. I think the easy choice is Aaron Donald. Just because of the way he always is always in that conversation. And went to a corner last year, which is really unprecedented to Stephon Gilmore. So I gotta go circle back around. I gotta either go Aaron Donald or JJ Watt because if he stays healthy, he can always be a game changer.
JJ Watt.
I'm going. I think Dak's gonna win MVP, so I'm saying Saquon. The Giants are about to pick Jedrick Wills Jr. from Bama, O lineman. Great O lineman. He will be one of the best O linemen in the NFL. Maybe even his rookie year. So with that, Saquon. And for defense, Khalil Mack. Okay, Khalil Mack didn't have a great season this year, but next year he's coming back. Bears need him. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Okay. I guess we could go coach of the year. Just for fun to see who's to be the best team. This is really hard to say now. I guess I would just go Bruce Arians, just because Buccaneers probably have that big culture shift from last year to this year. I think there's not enough information to tell at this point, but that's just my guess. I don't know if you guys have an answer for that, but that's just what I have so far.
This early, not really much to go off of, but I'm going to Cliff Kingsbury. Cardinals, I feel like they're on an upward trend, and they're playoff bound.
I'm not going to say Cliff Kingsbury because I think they won't give it to him because they got D-Hop. That's going to be a reason that they make the playoffs. I would love to say Anthony Lynn just because Chargers are making the playoffs, okay? But they're because they're not a great team, so they might have to pick a coach that great coach. But I'm gonna go Mike McCarthy of the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Because Jason Garrett did all this bad stuff for the Cowboys, didn't have them go far when they made the playoffs. Mike McCarthy will be a game changer. Mike McCarthy.
Well, that's the NFL awards, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try to shift back to the NBA. We already covered the MVP, but of course, there's more awards to the MVP than the MVP. So how about Defensive Player of the Year? Who do you guys have in Defensive Player of the Year?
So my pick, kind of fell off for a while. He was a role player at best early in his career, but he's evolving now to a starting five that is just a beast in the paint. On Hassan Whiteside.
Fair point. I got to go Fresh Prince. Got to go Ben Simmons. Having a great year on defense.
I'm going Rudy Gobert. Okay. People don't really like him right now.
Everyone, bro. He defended the whole NBA. Got it fucking canceled, bro.
I'm thinking Rudy Gobert. Or slight, we say Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, okay. Look at Rudy, man. Okay, one of the most anticipated Rookie of the Year races in forever, but I don't think it's that close. Listen, I love Zion, but you already know Ja runs away with this award for me.
I'm going same. I think Ja. Ja's actually fallen off. He started to fall off, but start of the season, great player.
Gotta go with Ja.
Legon, you have the same choice? Okay. So if Zion played the whole year, though, would you have Zion?
No.
If you play like this if he played the whole year like he's been playing, then yes.
I agree. I think if Zion plays those first 30 games, he's the Rookie of the Year.
Completely disagree.
Okay, well, that's fine. Sixth Man of the Year, Dennis Schroeder. Not even close.
I agree.
Him and Lou
I don't really have
Williams.
an opinion on that. Yeah.
Lou Williams always. Yeah.
Sure. You know what? Dennis Schroeder.
Yes, sir. Okay. Coach of the Year.
Right here, this is your guy, your MVP. I'm going Mike Budenholzer. His team is on an amazing trend upwards, and I don't think some people saw this coming, but I didn't really see it coming like this big,
Right. That's a fair choice. I gotta go Nick Nurse though. They lost Kawhi. They lost a lot of players in the offseason. They lost Kawhi, and they're still 60 games probably this year. And with Pascal taking the rise he has, Van Vliet stepping up, no superstar on that team. They're winning a lot of games. I gotta go him or Billy Donovan because Billy Donovan's having a hell of a year this year.
I also go Nick Nurse. I think same reason for John, actually. Raptors don't have a great team, but Nick Nurse is doing his job.
I think it would be too hard to do all NBA teams just because of how many players there are and how many teams that we have to cover. I guess that's it. That's all we have to talk about. Unless you guys have any other topics you guys want to bring up.
No.
All right, guys. So I don't know how often we'll make a podcast like this. This is very much an experiment, but if it gets any sort of recognition at all, give us some suggestions. Thank you for listening. As of now, we are recording this on the 8th of April. So if anything major comes out after this, that's unfortunate we didn't get to it, but we'll get to it the next couple weeks. So thank you for listening. We're signing off. Have a good day.